the sheep, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What's going on, entertainers? So today I'm coming to you guys with another video. Y'all, I had to bring out the green screen back for y'all, okay? Because we're going to talk about Ultimate Girls Trip. Before I get started, everything you know to do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you guys think about this video. So this is going to be a two-parter. So this is only going to be the first part of episodes 1, 2, 3. What Peacock does is they drop the Ultimate Girls Trips, like I think they do like 3 episodes like each week or something like that. So it's a lot of episodes and I binge watch them. So sometimes, of course, I miss stuff. So I'm only going to talk about some stuff that, of course, stuck out to me. And I'm going to do a second parter. So I need y'all, in the comments down below to talk about stuff that I missed out on. So that way I'll be able to talk about it in the second part. So this is part 1 of the recap of episodes 1, 2, 3 of Ultimate Girls Trip. Okay, so we're going to do cast ratings first. All right. We're going to start off with Giselle. So Giselle, to me, 1 out of 10 so far. I'm going to give her a 6. And you guys are probably like, how? She's starting and doing everything. Guess what? This isn't the Housewives of Potomac. We don't need you to, be the one to be the pot stir and everything. We have Porsha that can do that. We have Candace that can do that. We don't need you to do that. The problem that I have with Giselle is we have yet to know who Giselle is. We have yet to really know a lot about her. We only know a few things about her, and she asks so much questions, which I'm glad. Shout out to Alexia. It's a shame, and I should be, ashamed of myself because I don't watch Real Housewives of Miami, and that's my city. So it's like, wow, right? But shout out to her to be the one to really call out Giselle, be like, because we see it in a preview somewhere. She's like, oh yeah, you asked a lot of questions, but you're the one who you're the one who does that, so that way you don't tell a lot of stuff about your life and what you're going through because you just ask a whole lot of questions. Okay, I say you better clock her teeth. Giselle was shook. She was like, her neck. Her neck really is bad though. Like the fact that Candace called that out, her neck is atrocious. So that's why I give her a 6 out of 10. Candace, I'm gonna give her a 10 out of 10. And y'all, I'm fair. I don't even like Candace like that. I'm Team Monique. Okay, I'm Team Monique. You Nick? I'm Team Monique. Okay, so I'm gonna give her a 10 out of 10 just due to the fact that she's in her. There's some housewives when they get to a certain level in their housewife career, it's called the golden era. This is Candace's golden era. Okay, she's booking performances. I recently saw her do the LA Clippers where she did the "And the Home of the Brave." Not gonna lie, she was going a little too fast. I'm not gonna lie. She was like, slow down, Candace. Slow down. She was going a little too quick, and I think the reason why is because she was nervous, so she didn't want to kind of mess up the national anthem or had a Fergie moment to where she's like she didn't want to have one of those moments. So I don't blame her. But she sounded amazing. This is her golden era, and I think this is her time because we're really seeing the true essence of Candace. And she's really letting us into her life and letting us see the vulnerable side of her versus the catty side of her. And she's really stirring up a little drama in the trip also. So that's why I think 10 out of 10. Okay. So shout out. I think I said 9 out of 10, but we're going to do 10 out of 10. Okay. Shout out to Candace. Okay. She doing her big one. So Heather, Heather, to me, I'm going to give her a 5 out of 10. The reason why I say this is because you came across as a fangirl. You're a housewife girl. Okay. Why are you, being so fangirl and groupie like to these other girls? You're part of the cast. Why are you being a groupie? That's like me getting on a reality show with other reality stars and me being like, oh my God, I've always wanted to meet you. Of course, it's good to be humble. And I'm not saying be cocky, but like, don't come across so hyphy. Like, you a groupie that's gonna bust the Debbie cakes open so Giselle could thrust you in, bro. Like, relax. 5 out of 10. And she cried so easily when getting into it with Heather. I get that's her family, but getting into it with Whitney. I get that's her family, but like, Jesus Christ. So, Whitney, you guys, I'm going to have to give her a 9 out of 10. And the reason why I say this is because she's messy herself and she's not afraid to get messy, which, as you know, a housewife, it's kind of in your requirements in your rule book to kind of get in there. And the reason why I say this is because when she showed the picture of the black eye to Giselle, she's like, I'm going to show the picture of the black eye, Heather, because you're calling me a liar. You're not going to call me a liar. Okay, so Giselle, this is her black eye. All right. And she didn't get it because, she was getting her Big W cakes knocked in. What's her name? Jen Shaw knocked her out. Jen Shaw knocked her out. Yeah, Jen Shaw did this. That to me was like, wow, you're stepping it up, Mama. That's all I gotta give her. I gotta give her that amount. So to me, she's doing her big one also. All right. So next person up is Leah. So Leah to me is of course the enemy, of course, for the first 3 episodes. We see that she has the bullseye and the target on her back. And spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So skip this video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I gave y'all time to skip. It's being alleged that Leah got sent home early or went home early because of something that she did during the trip. So we're gonna see that play out, maybe potentially, and it's alleged. Okay, so that's that on that. I will say I don't. This is the thing. I liked how she stood up for herself, but I don't like the fact that she played victim, as if her telling the Alexia lady to, and she's bored, wasn't right. Like, we know that was wrong, girl. So don't try to act like they're like all ganging up on you and like starting with you, trying you for no reason when you were low key a little bit disrespectful. I'm just saying. But I think without her, the trip would have been boring. And I will say this: thank God. So I'm gonna give her a 8 out of 10. Right. I will say this: next person up is Porsha. Thank God, Tinsley. Tinsley, you guys, is another housewife that was supposed to be there, and Porsha wasn't supposed to be there. Thank God, whatever happened to her happened to her. Because guess what? Had Porsha not been there, it would have been even more boring. Oh my God, Porsha, you're gonna get a 10 out of 10 from me, Porsha. Okay, and y'all know I'm not a Porsha stan either. Okay, I'm not. Porsha to me is a liar. I think she lives in a fantasy. You know how Mariah Carey lives in a fantasy where she thinks like fans have to walk around with her all day and blow in her hair, and she has to stand in the right lighting, and like that to me is Porsha mentally. So that gets on my nerves. And that's why Porsha kind of gets on my nerves, because she's like an airhead on purpose. And I don't like people that like are dumb. Y'all already know how I am. I like smart people. I like people that's on their ish. Right? Porsha to me, don't get me wrong, like she's smart finessing wise, but like in other ways, to me, I really like how she's doing the series. And I like how she took her exit on Housewives graciously. She didn't do a Nene where she went, AWOL and started tweeting all these things and bashing Bravo as if Bravo was the worst thing that could have happened to her, not knowing that Bravo is the one that really made her. Even though, of course, I really do think there might have been some things that went behind the scenes that, Nene may not have been comfortable with. But the way she went about it, I don't think was right. And I think Porsha was kind of, throwing a little bit of shade at Nene when she said, "Oh, I left, graciously. I didn't leave, in a way where I wasn't able to come back." She said something to that effect. When I'm just like, did your mother, Nene, tell you that was an okay thing to say? Because Nene's probably gonna watch this and be mad, girl. She's gonna be like, "Oh, Porsha, you think that was cute what you said about me?" Sorry for a slight lag. If you guys are seeing it, it's because of the green screen. I had to bring it back, because it's Ultimate Ultimate Girl Trip, right? So 10 out of 10 for Porsha. Okay. Last 2 people is my Miami girls, Alexia and Marisol. Alexia to me is on the show. Does she talk that much? Because she does come across as the type of person that talks a lot, like rants for on and on and on, giving like podcaster, it's giving like streamer. Okay, so it's like I could see that. I would give her 8 out of 10 because I could tell on the show, she probably gets into it a lot with a lot of the girls. I don't watch Real Housewives of Miami on Peacock. Let me know if I should get into it because I heard it's really, 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 really good. I did see some stuff trending where this girl said, "You put people to sleep. You think you're doing you something?" I said, "Ooh, it's you talking crap about somebody in the medical field. Jesus, nothing off limits." So I'll give her, like I said, 8 out of 10 because I could tell like she brings it outside of the show, and I think she's doing a good job so far on the show. Okay, last person is Marisol. Is she an alcoholic, you guys? It's giving alky, allegedly. Like she drinks a lot. Every scene it was, oh, I gotta get me some, I have to get me some vodka. I have to get me some, some Hennessy. Yeah, I have to, I have to, get some, tequila. I have to, get some, some Henny. I was just like, Jesus. I guess I get it's a trip and all, but it's like, girl, you're drinking a lot. Okay, so let's get into some situations that happen. Candice and Giselle being cool. A lot of you guys need to understand the reason why they were on good terms when we see them on the screen is because this trip was filmed directly after the season ended. So when the season ended, they weren't on too bad terms. They weren't the best of friends, of course, but they weren't like beefing heavy. Even though Candice, to me, I'm still side eyeing you because I know y'all wasn't beefing heavy, but let's say somebody say something about that about your spouse, you're gonna have it's gonna be up and it's gonna be stuck forever. So it was kind of awkward to me seeing them sort of kiki on the phone. But I'm really guessing producers was like, hey, like we're filming this trip. Y'all the only two that really know each other like that. Y'all know, of course, some of y'all know the other girls or whatever, but y'all from the same city. FaceTime each other and say, what you doing? It's giving that. Okay, I can see that actually really happening. So I wouldn't be too shocked if the producers kind of tell them to be a little chummy until you guys get to the trip and have at each other. Okay, so that to me was like I did kind of side eye that. So one of the scenes that happened during the show was they had this dinner and they talked about the hardships that they had on the show. Okay, so Porsha talked about how she was going through postpartum during her season of at one of her seasons of Atlanta Housewives, and she wasn't going to do it. But if it wasn't for this producer that told her, like, "Hey, we're just here to film your life, so just please do the show, okay? Because you bring half of our viewers and you have millions of followers." That's really it. Let me tell y'all something. These producers, they care, but they care about the check. Okay. The ratings have not been good since Porsha has left. Let's really talk about it. Really, since Nene has left. But has when Porsha left, it really dropped. So I'm just saying, like at that time, they needed Porsha. Porsha. She brought in the views. So it's like I could see a producers being like, hey girl, like, we know you're going through it, but you ain't gotta do nothing, okay? We just gotta film it. That's it. So that was good to see her talk about that. And this is the where she was just like, she kind of not shaded Nene, but she was just like, hey, like, I didn't leave on bad terms because Bravo has really helped, elevated me. She was just like, I built businesses off of it, blase. So she was basically bigging up Bravo and saying that, hey, Bravo did them a big one when it came to me, being on the show. Okay. Leah started crying about her grandmother. So she said Bravo really messed her up that last season because she lost her grandmother, and a lot of people were saying this is Leah's worst season, and she felt like the people that were watching didn't really know what was going on in the background, and she said the producers kept her where she was. Basically, they went on vacation, and the grandmother wasn't feeling well, and the producers was kind of forced her into staying and made it to a point where she can leave. I thought that was cap too, because anytime a family member, somebody passes away on Bravo, wherever they are, they let them go. Because I remember watching this new episode of Vanderpump Rules, one of the newest episodes, one of the girls' dogs was dying, and I can't stay. She left, and they let her leave. So I don't really believe that grandmother story, like the rest of the cast members said either. Like I call cap on that. The cap is on your head, Leah. So yeah. And then also Alexia, this is where she talks about the husband. Okay, she talked about the husband and how the husband, her ex, her husband, her previous husband who passed away, unfortunately. was, down with the get down. He was down with the garage. He was one of the garage. Okay. He liked his Big Debbie cakes pounded in, or he liked Big Debbie cakes on his lap. Okay. He liked dudes. So she didn't find out until he passed away. And I guess his mistress showed up. I said, "Ooh," at the funeral, at the funeral. Okay, so I don't know if he was, at his funeral, because it's always a mysterious figure. If you a big person figure, somebody at your funeral with an umbrella dressed in all black. So I don't know if he dressed in all black or all pink. It was in the background with an umbrella, like, huh, yeah, you don't know was really tea. So she ended up having a conversation with the mistress and basically talked about all of this on their season of Miami. And Alexia made it a point this season of Girls Trip to keep bringing this up, keep bringing this up, keep bringing this up, keep bringing this up. So Leah didn't like that. So Leah at one point was just like, I'm bored. Like, can we talk about something else? Can you guys like drink alcohol? So like, what? This is where Leah got on my nerves because you're so used to being around these New York housewives where the only time that they have fun is when they're drunk down boots, where they're drinking 3 bottles of Casamigos and vodka, just and chugging it down. And that's the only way that they could have fun. So you're not used to people being normal and kikiing around without being inebriated. Leah, okay? Sweeney, in my opinion, she was one of the reasons why I feel like New York shut down. Okay, you shut it down. You're one of the reasons why New York shut down. Sorry, it's just facts. You were too extra. It was too much. I guess she was grieving and everything like that, but a lot of it seemed very performative. The worst type of housewife is a performative housewife. Okay, the type that gets on the screen and performs. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, just it's old, it's tired, it's through. Next thing I wanted to talk about, you guys, is the Spanish situation. Okay, like I said, I'm from South Florida. You're around a lot of people that speak Spanish. The way that Giselle basically told Marisol and Alexia that they couldn't speak Spanish around her. This is the problem that I have with Giselle. Who are you? Who are you? You are not project manager. In the words of Nini, Giselle to me talks to people as if she is like the teacher and like everybody else is her students. You cannot talk to people like that. Who do you think you are? She's like, we're not gonna do that. We're not speaking Spanish. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. I'm like, man, if I was one of them girls, I would have cussed hard in Spanish. I would be like, ay, tu madre es de puta, culo, yeah. Una culo, yeah. You can't even dress. Like, I would have got in her because it's the way you say things. You may not be like, oh, can you guys please not speak Spanish around me because I don't understand what you guys are saying. I want to be a part of your conversation. Or can you guys speak me Spanish so we could speak Spanish together? Okay, but yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's why I don't like Giselle. She comes across like, no, you're not Mother Teresa. Or you don't know everything. Like, shut up. She's like it was those Spanish girls that they invited on this trip. Because I know them other Spanish girls on the Real Housewives of Miami. I see clips and stuff all over Twitter. They be getting in that ass. So Giselle would have really got ate up. And it's not like they were talking negatively about Giselle. It'd be one thing if they were talking negatively about Giselle. Then I would kind of understand. But they were just talking like conversation wise, just about random stuff. Like it had nothing to do with Giselle. Giselle to me is just very insecure, and she just assumed that they were talking negatively just about her or just gossiping. That's what I think. Okay. Next thing I wanted to talk about, you guys, that happened on the show was Porsha and Candace's dynamic. Okay. To me, I feel like they don't really like each other. Portia to me sees Candace as like a little girl, which I'm like, Portia, you're not that old either. Okay, you're not a spring chicken, but you're not that old either. So at the end of the day, you can't really be trying to be mother when you're still auntie. Okay, so I kind of see what Portia's trying to do. She's trying to mother Candace, and Candace isn't having it. You guys know Candace isn't the type to get mothered. She doesn't even like her own mama. I'm saying, I'm like, she'll hate her mama, but she'll yell at her mama like that. Like we seen it on the show. So I think that's the dynamic that they have. I feel like Portia's real loyalty really lies with Monique. I think she kind of sees a little bit of herself with Monique because Monique, you guys, is kind of like that trophy wife. Even though of course, Monique has made a lot for herself. But Monique is like the trophy wife, that the housewife that Porsha aspires to be. And she sees that in Monique. And also Monique has, the fire and the desire to whoop your ass. And that's the same thing that Portia has. So she sees that in her, and I think that's why her real loyalty lies. And she doesn't really see Candace as a friend. I think Candace is usually, just a little somebody that she talks to on an occasion. Okay. All right. So then let's get into Giselle. So Giselle, to me, the reason why I rated her what I did in the beginning, because like I said, this is only part one. Okay, we're gonna do a secondary review once I watch the episodes again, and we're gonna really get into some more stuff. Giselle, to me, is a master at reality television. She's able to be on a show. These women have not asked her not one question about Jamal. Is Jamal coming? I would have, if I was one of them Miami girls or something, I would have been so messy with Giselle. I would have been like, the other day, I would have been Alexia. I would have been like, the other day, I think that Jamal, I seen him come into, my manicure spot with another woman, and your daughter was there. Like, I would have started something with Giselle just to like really fire her up, because we don't really see a lot of Giselle getting angry. We never really see a reaction out of her. She just kind of sits there, takes shots of insults, and it's just like, she does the neck thing and everything like that, but we never really just see her kind of do a banter back and forth, which we're gonna kind of get to see during the series. So stay tuned for that. But she's a master because she's able to not open up about herself, but let everybody else open up about themselves and let everybody else kind of expose themselves while she sort of sits back and laughs, which to me is sick. But that's typical Giselle, okay? And the girls to me are sort of to blame, because how are you guys gonna let her get away with this by not? That's why I respect Alexia, because she was one of the only ones to really confront her. But how are you guys able to let her get away with this and not able to, get some stuff out of her, get a reaction out of her, right? I'm just saying. Let's talk about the drag queen scene. Shout out to Candace for being. Okay, in the words of Gia Gunn, are you lady boy? Are you lady boy? Listen, to me, Candace was hilarious for what she did to them with the names and everything like that. That was funny. That was hilarious. I don't care what anybody else says about it. That was pure comedy. Because one, Portia's name was She Take a Man, and I think Giselle's name was She Need a Man. Okay, so of course Princess Portia felt some type of way about it. This is why I feel like Portia to me gets on my nerves. How are you going to get mad that this is being brought up on the show? This is why you didn't do the next season of Atlanta when you got with Simon. Let's really talk about it. You were scared that the girls were going to eat you up, because if you came up on next season with a married, with you the way you got with Simon, they would have eaten you alive. So you were scared and you didn't want to come because Kenya would have got in that ass, Marlo would have got in that ass, Candy would have gotten, everybody would have got on you. So you were petrified. Okay. So don't get mad that, Candace playfully, poked at your situation, because that's a lot nicer than what you would have gotten if you went back on Atlanta Housewives the season that skipped out on and hopped out on. They would have eaten you up, girl. I'm just saying, okay. I think the whole drag queen thing was funny, and I think the whole performance thing was cute when she had a little fur thing on. So that was creative. Can't Giselle to me is a hater, because that was like a little fun, good event that she came up with, and she showed them a culture that they weren't used to. Because I don't know if they never seen a drag queen before. I'm like, yeah, drag queens are fishy. They were like, wait, this Giselle, that's a real woman. I mean, that's a man. That's not a man. That's not a man. They know how to dress like that. How? I can't even dress like that. That's a woman. Yeah, Giselle. Like, Giselle was shook. I don't think she ever seen a drag queen before. The closest thing she ever seen to a drag queen was Karen Huger. Okay. And then Portia's story about the whole marriage, I think it's pure lies. Okay. I think it's pure cap. You mean to tell me you said first of all, Portia, you made it seem like it was a business transaction. You said you made him email the divorce decree, and you saying that and them having the paperwork of filing for divorce, you made him email that. I find that very hard to believe, and I find that to be a lie. Okay, the lie detector did determine that's cap. because I don't even see you being smart enough to be like, let me file that over and put into a letter that you are separated from Fallon, so I'm not included in your divorce happenings. No, Porsha. Okay, you trusted him enough that he said that they were separating everything, and you went about your business because you saw that he had a big check and he was African. Okay, so let's not stop the cap, Porsha. The story to me was lying. Okay, they should have changed her name with she take it man to she a liar man because you lied. All right. That's it for my first part of the girls trip so far. Of course, there's stuff that I'm going to talk about in part two. Please comment some stuff that I didn't talk about in part one down below. Let me know what you guys think about this series so far for my entertainers that are tuned in, because I think it's a great, great series. Leave your comments down below. We're all babies.
No personal thing.